everybody. Welcome to Cardistry Lore and More. Today I'm joined by my co-host Brendan Connor and
Hello.
very special guests CJ Ocampo and Matt Fox. Hello everyone, how you doing?
Hey.
What's up?
What's
What's up?
up?
What's up?
What up?
How's it going?
So CJ, tell us why are we here today?
So I reached out to the young Brendan and the young Mr. Legendary Kevin Ho to do a special cardistry lore for Cardistry Con 2024 and probably talk about past cons. And then Brendan thought of a good idea to bring on Matt Fox since he's been to mostly every single con, even the beta con as they called it, right?
The
Um,
beta con.
the beta
Yeah, back
con
in
during
San Diego.
Magic Live. Yeah. It was in a small room, right? Matt? Like in a conference,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
tiny.
We weren't cool enough to have a con, so we were in a little room.
Oh, okay.
But it was sick. The energy in that room was cool. It was like it was very special.
Yeah.
It was really
I,
cool.
Yeah,
what
who
year
was
was
there?
it?
It was 2014, and we had Kalen, there was Alan, there was Oliver, Tobias, Kusa
Yeah.
was there.
Fucking what's his name?
Yeah, it was
Why am I
interesting. I
forgetting his name?
remember like we were rewatching like videos that were already out. Like we were just like I think we watched like Wheels Within Wheels.
Yeah.
That video had been out, but we were like watching it again, and it was like
Why
yeah, it was
why am I
just it was
why am I
very cool.
blanking out right now? I feel so bad. The
Paul Wilson also spoke, which
the
was like
the
super cool.
the three
Oh,
packet
Frankie,
cut. Not Frankie. The oh my God.
Chase?
What?
which
Chase.
Chase. Yes,
Chase.
Yeah,
How did you
Chase.
forget
Oh,
Chase's name?
I don't know. I got
The
so
three
bad
packet
memory.
guy? Oh my goodness.
Yeah. You know the plastic
Dude,
card guy?
I've
Yeah, he
so
was like this big guy. He's this big guy.
massive
Yeah.
brain fog, and then that's when because I was thinking of his move where he did the little flip back to
oh
the
yeah.
face.
Oh,
Yeah.
and he caught it
That's
on
when he
his
first.
foot. His foot. Yes.
Yeah, that's when he like I think first introduced that idea to the world.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the
Um.
first Padiddle contest too.
Oh, that was the
Mm.
first Padilla contest. I
Who
remember
who won?
I wasn't really doing
Carter.
cardistry at the
Carter
time. I
won.
think Carter was here.
Carter, this is the first time I met Carter. I think a lot of people met him. He was a baby and came to the con, and I'll never forget, he was like doing Padiddle, and somebody in the crowd was like cheering him on, and he was like, shh. And they were like, he just shushed you while doing Padiddle. Like, he's a beast. Like, he doesn't like, he just like focusing doing it and like just blew everybody's mind. I think that was the same year that we met Jamie Tucher, if anybody remembers that name, but there was another kid
Yeah.
who was like, younger and just came in and was like doing L cuts behind his back and stuff, like the craziest stuff because it was
And
like Magic Con.
yeah, Benji Taylor was there, I believe, and so was
Hmm.
Patrick Vernavis.
Yup. Yeah. It was a good time.
Damn. So that
Yeah.
happened, and the beta obviously worked. Because what happened
Hmm.
the following year?
Yeah,
Card
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Yeah.
Big
Brooklyn.
Brooks.
Yeah.
Kevin, I think you could probably speak to this one quite well, right?
Yeah, I helped to organize it that year. You know, I was so upset that I missed out on the BetaCon in San Diego that I was like, yo, if that's Batman Begins, this is gonna be the Dark Knight. And we invited everybody. We got like a V, we got Nikolai, we got Andrew, we got
The
Ladislas and
Ghost,
Jonas.
Dimitri,
Jonas.
Jonas, we got
Jonas.
Jonas, we got
Uh-huh.
Noel. Everybody was
Dude,
at that
I'll
con.
never
Yeah.
forget walking up to Jonas and like being like, "Hey, nice to meet you." Being like, is that a jumbo deck?" Man's used a jumbo deck for 90% of his time in Brooklyn. Like a jumbo Anglo deck and was doing like Stitch with it, like doing crazy stuff. Like it was insane. That was it was the Brooklyn was crazy. The energy there was crazy for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, Brendan, it was too bad you couldn't make it. I tried so hard to get you to come.
I just tapped back into like cardistry, period. I was in the live stream, I remember kind of flaming the
Yeah.
gang.
Oh yeah,
But
Spencer was there.
S- Big
Spencer,
Spencer was there
Spencer
for sure.
Pittsburgh, my boy.
dude,
Hell
I'll never forget walking up to Spencer for the first time meeting him and being like, "Hey, can you do Circle Fan?" He's like, "No."
yeah.
I Oh my gosh, just like Tiny Chat.
Yeah.
It
Spencer
was
has
so
like
fun.
you like a really good lesson, I think, for newcomers to Cardistry Con. If you're kind of nervous about like your skill level or just like kind of performing live in general, is just have one move that you can kind of do okay. So if someone, say like Kyle Tran comes up to you and is like, "Do you want to film something?" You can just bust out this little thing and get it on camera, hopefully. Because Spencer was the king of that. I think he would do like that palm spin move, like Viet.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
V.
Viet's
Yeah.
move.
Yeah.
That's
Tom.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember like we linked up together before hitting Berlin, and he's like, I was like, "What you cooking with?" And he's like, "I'm just gonna do palm spin for 5 days straight, bro. Like,
And he
I have
did.
nothing else." And then he did.
I didn't see him do anything else.
No, he was only doing palm spin. Um,
Yeah,
so that's
Legendary.
a pro tip because like for me at least, like sometimes when I land, I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm prepared at anything." It's nice to have one
yeah.
thing you can show people. So
Yeah.
for
That's
your own
really
mental
good.
health. Okay, so
Yeah.
Brooklyn. What came after Brooklyn?
Berlin.
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 We went
That's when that
international.
was your first con, right?
That was my
Brendan?
first con, and what a
Mm-hmm.
con Berlin
It's a good
was.
one.
Holy
Yeah.
moly.
Yeah.
That was
I
also
remember.
the first CCC, right?
Oh,
Cardistry-Con
was
Yeah, that was
it?
the
Championship?
Was
first
it
Cardistry
the
Con
competition?
championship.
Oh, I didn't hear
Yeah.
that.
I wanna touch on one thing about Brooklyn before we go into Berlin.
Yeah, for
That is
sure.
such a turning point for cardistry, I think. Brooklyn was the first time where people got in a room and saw a video for the first time together, and that reaction, that oh,
Mm,
everybody,
Mm,
that was the first time that ever happened, and like it set the groundwork for like what cardistry video like debuts would be. And like when it was time for Berlin, like when Aviv showed his video, everybody kind of knew like, all right, like we're about to see something crazy. It's not just like we're gonna see a video for the first time. We're gonna see it together. We're gonna feel this energy together. And like I'll never forget when Pacemaker played in Brooklyn and Tobias does Fripple and the screen like melts, like there's like that
Yeah.
melting effect. And everybody was like, "Oh, what? You can do that?" Like, so they're moving into Berlin, like when like Aviv showed his video and everything, we kind of had this idea of like people who were in Brooklyn or saw the stream, like, all right, like there's going to be this reaction, like we're all going to feel some type of way. Um, yeah, Berlin's videos were insane, just crazy,
yeah.
absolutely insane.
Yeah. That's a good point, though. It kind of introduces new element to card culture of saving your moves for a video to premiere at Cardistry-Con. It's kind of like
Yeah,
premiering at like Canes Festival or something
for
equivalent.
sure. Like
I
the
have
sound
a
with
little
the story
story
behind
about
it.
Berlin. I have a little story about Berlin, which is that for I think it was day one, Cardistry Touch was going to debut Welcome. And
Mm.
if you've seen Welcome, you know that one of the first revelations in the video after they walk into the loft and everything, they have the box and they open it up and it unveils like the swivel box for the
Mm.
Cardistry Touch Origins deck. Um, that day in the goodie bags, um, the organizers had like packed in the touch decks into the bags, and touch didn't want people to get the cards before they would see them in the video. So once they realized this, people had to go into the bags and like take out, the organizers had to take out every single touch deck so they could give it to them later after the video debuted. And I
My
remember this
God.
just being like a mad last minute scramble to get that done
Yeah, yeah.
Dude,
before
It's typical
speaking
cardistry
of the
con, right?
goodie
yeah.
bags, I still have a few of those Your Logo Your decks. I think they're the best deck ever made.
Oh
From
yeah.
Bicycle, right?
I'll
Yeah,
never
from
forget that.
Bicycle.
I'll never forget
Oh,
that.
yeah, I
I
forgot
remember
about that.
seeing of like walking up to Aviv and like he's doing like crazy stuff. I'm like, what deck are you using? And he's like, these.
They had then people just started calling them like your logos. Like
Yeah, yeah.
like
No,
one
they
word,
have
like your
your
logos.
logos. Yeah, yeah.
I forgot about those. They were
Yeah, 100%.
maybe the thickest deck I've ever seen in my life.
They're like bee watermelons. They were so thick. I remember I powdered one of them. It did.
There's been
I couldn't get enough of them.
there's been a couple iconic, like pretty atrociously, horrendously ugly Cardistry Con associated decks before. Wasn't there a Tally Ho, like an absolute
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
bastardization of the Tally Ho
yeah.
design?
Isn't
It
it
was
the
like orange
Elmer's
and blue,
glue
right?
looking?
It was like a
Yeah,
Yeah.
borderless blue tally. It was it was something for sure.
Yeah, those are
Yeah.
relics in the community right
Someone at
there.
USBCC was like, you know what? Yeah, we absolutely cooked with this one.
Yeah.
This is
Yo, if
the
by
kids are
the
gonna
way,
The
eat
if
the
you're
this.
kids are gonna
watching,
love this one.
if you're watching, keep stuff like that coming. I love it. I
No,
want to
it's
see I
so
want to see
good.
like a red your logo here deck. Like let's go, bro. Second
Yeah.
edition. I want them.
Your logo's
In,
thin crash, like, ooh, it would go kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
It would go so hard.
in in New York, did they have a weird deck that they gave out in the goodie bags, or did they even give out goodie bags in New York?
I don't
New York
remember.
was
I
like
don't
kind of
remember.
pre like custom decks in a way, wasn't it?
That's very true. That's
It
very
was
true.
Yeah,
like
it
it was
was
like
it
a
was to the
couple
point
people
where
were
like
doing it.
it was to the point where like the custom deck that was being done in New York was Tobias's handmade.
Yes.
That's true. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
Oh
had to
my
do it
God, that was
yourself.
so funny.
But Bicycle still sponsored the New York event, correct? They're
I
Uh,
like
don't
I think
remember. I think so, but I don't
I
remember.
know. Yeah, I forget.
They
I
must
will
have.
say it was
Brooklyn or
really
something.
cool when that was Brooklyn was when Dimitri and Ladislas were walking around with the Cardamundi guys, and it was the first time where saw people like on that side of playing card production be like interested in cardistry and like interviewing people and being like, hey, what do you like with a deck of cards? Like, what is your preferred stock and finish? And they were doing
Yeah.
like market research and like talking to people. It was so cool. I forget the dude's name with the glasses that like spoke a little
Cheers.
bit, but
Tom
Years.
super
Tom
cool.
Kestens.
Cheers. Was it
Tom
Cheers?
Keston,
Yeah.
it was years
Tom
too, but
Kestens.
Tom Keston, super cool. Like was like chilling with everybody, like like walking around, seeing people jam, and was like observing, and it was really cool. It was like,
Yeah,
Was he the
Tom Kestens
designer
says
of the
some.
box? Was he the one who like actually figured out the mechanism of the box for the touch
The box
guys?
is it's a Nintendo box, I believe.
The touch box.
The touch box is based on a Nintendo design.
Oh, really? Because I
Really?
remember they mentioned that there was some like Cardamundi product design wizard that like kind of like figured out
Mm,
the intricacies of the box mechanism, but
Probably,
Nintendo
yeah.
that's some cool
Yeah.
lore right there for sure.
exposed.
Tom Keston said something interesting to me at the con. He said that it was notable how when they had people try out the Cardamundi decks. He said that a lot of cards they could just tell from like riffling the side of the cards whether or not they liked it.
I can see that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
dude, the way that we know if a deck, like you put a deck in my hands within 3 seconds, I'm like, these are great or they're trash. Like it's
Totally,
been long enough
Yeah,
that I could feel it.
Hmm.
totally.
Um, Yeah, I remember specifically he was like surprised at how thin that we like how much we liked thin decks. Not just like snappy, but like thin. Like I remember early on removing like four to six cards out of my decks to like because they just felt better. Like they just felt better
Yeah.
in the hand. I think Dan Buck kind of showed me that. Like he's like, yeah, just take some cards out. Like there's no rules against it. And I was
Definitely.
like,
Brian Tudor
you're
talks
right.
about it in Show Off 3. Brian Tudor talks about it in Show
Yes.
Off 3. He
Yeah,
says
yeah,
like
yeah. Take
Yeah.
out four
drop
cards.
drop
Uh,
4.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
Cardamundi, didn't they also give like a like a B2 finish prototype in those? Do you remember those? It was like a kind of a classic bicycle back design, and they were like giving out this new card technology deck to try out. It was really thick. I don't think anybody liked the cards. I don't. Does this ring a bell to anyone?
I
Was
think
that?
it
I thought
was
that
in
was
Hong
during
Kong,
LA
right?
Con.
Well,
Oh,
I
Hong
got the
Kong.
deck, so I was there. So
Yeah.
Oh,
I
maybe it
think it
was
was
during
Berlin. They
LA.
might have been prototype, or maybe they were just passing them around to
No,
certain
it was
I think
people.
I know
Berlin.
what you're
It
talking about.
was Berlin because I remember Franco when he came back, he let me like play with the deck, and I'm like, dude, this is feels so weird.
This feels
But
so
it does
weird.
feel
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Berlin was where Franco screened Silky Boys.
Yeah,
That's
that's
where
when
I saw
I.
CJ's big comeback.
Yeah, that's the year I came back into cardistry. But backtracking to um, the first con is when I moved back to LA. I think
Mm.
it was one of the San Diego kids, either it was Jack or Hector, or maybe it was even Frankie was like, hey, like they're having a con, you should, come out to San Diego for it. But I wasn't really into cards at the time. I was like, nah, that's not gonna be a thing in the future. So then I kind of skipped out on that, and then I saw, next year was Brooklyn. I'm like, okay, they're actually really doing it. And then the year after that, I got back into cards, and I was this close to go to Berlin, but
So
was too
sick.
broke to
What was
go.
the growth like? So Brooklyn was quite small, right? From like a
Yeah,
like less than 100.
Brooklyn. I think we might have like done 52 people
Oh,
as
you did
like
52
a special
plates.
number.
I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah, that
All
was
these
yeah.
crying kids out front being
It
like,
was.
"Sorry, can't do 53."
I
dude.
think I think Cardistry-Con was gonna be on Kickstarter, and then we had to move it to
Mm.
Indiegogo because of some
Mm,
stipulations. So that
mhm,
year it was crowdfunded, and that was one of the reasons why we had the tutorial bundle for Cardistry-Con. It was a reward for the backers. What's up, Matt?
Classic
I
content.
can't stop. I can't stop thinking about the
What, Tron?
what's this movie? Yeah, it
Rinsler,
was like
Rinsler.
it's
Rinsler.
So why is it called Rinsler? I like Tron. That supercut video too of like Tobias and Spencer, where it's just
yeah,
Spencer laughing for like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
yeah.
There's some
yeah,
good
that
stuff
was
Uh,
in
pretty.
that tutorial bundle too.
there was a lot of good
Yeah,
stuff. Malacuso, I
Phobos
do
is
that
in
all the
it.
time.
Molecuso, Turbine's in it, right?
Yeah, Vodfan, no, which no one can
Vodfan.
do, but
Yeah,
like I'm glad we know
Vodfan.
how to do it.
Phobos
Long's
Deimos
in
was
it.
in that, right? Phobos
Yeah,
Deimos?
Phobos Deimos was in it.
OG?
Butterfly Effect.
Yeah. Butterfly Effect by Darren. You have V-Flip. Huron's Biddle
Oh
I'll
yeah,
Flip.
never
yeah,
forget.
crazy.
Maybe both.
We went to me and I think it was Eric Rubio, who I don't think is doing cards anymore. Met up with you, Kevin,
Yeah.
and we had a coffee shop, and all of a sudden the Verts walk in, the rest of the Verts, and I'm like, oh my God, they're real. Like Darren's real, and like Darren sat like right across me. This was maybe like a couple days before the con, and Berger was actually staying with me before the con as well, and yeah, that was just such a fun time. Like Brooklyn was insane. Like the it was the first time where I saw people because like MagicCon's like one thing, like it's but like now you got people coming from like really all over the world, like pulling up.
Yeah.
Um, and I'll never forget meeting Darren for the first. It was just such a monumental moment for me. I was like, I get to show him all of his moves.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, look at my mockingbird.
That is a fun element too of Cardistry Con as well. That took me a while to adjust to because I remember similar to you, Matt. We were in Berlin. I was sitting at a table with like Zach and Tobias. We are just like drinking beer or something. And we were talking about Andre. And we weren't sure if he was even coming, but we're like, yeah, we like glazing Andre. And I just like turn to my right and I just like see Andre appear. He just walks around the corner randomly. And I was like, are you serious right now? Like, did we just summon Andre? And then Andre came and sat down. And to me, I'm now sitting with Zach, Tobias, and Andre. And like,
Yeah,
crazy. So things like that happen at Cardistry Con.
generation Cardist. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
You
funny.
will meet your heroes, guaranteed.
Yeah,
you will.
So, okay, why don't we just like kind of walk through the cons and then we can like circle back and stuff because I kind of want to
yeah,
like get
for
the
sure.
get the timeline.
Hmm.
So the
Yeah,
next
yeah, yeah.
after Berlin was Hong
LA
Kong,
Con.
Hong Kong.
or was
Oh,
it
yeah,
LA? Was it LA?
it was
No, it was
LA.
LA.
It was
It was
LA,
Yeah,
yeah.
LA.
you're right. You're
Sorry.
right. You're right.
Yeah,
LA Con, LA Con,
hmm
and you were there, CJ.
that was my first debut at LA
Yeah,
Con.
what a debut
That's
it
right.
was.
Yeah, it was sick because that's when I met Jazz Bass, Leon. A lot of the Singaporeans were
Yeah,
there. Like,
Cannon.
Singapore guys pulled up.
oh, I like gave Leon biggest hug. It was great. Oh man, yeah, yeah. Then yeah, it was at a good location too in Art District. That venue was sick.
It was so
It,
hot. I
it was
remember.
So
very hot. Remember the last day, there was like a brownout for all like the AC, like most of part of California, like AC system was just all shut down. So you're
Yeah,
just there in a sauna with men with cards.
it was
It's not
tough,
worth it.
man.
Everybody just switched to kendamas at the time.
Oh
Everybody just
yeah,
stopped
because
playing.
We had no
Kendama.
choice. Yeah.
Yeah, kendama was huge during the time. So everybody was like, I can't play with cards, so let me just cup and ball it for a couple hours.
If I'm not wrong, that was also the first time that we had people that weren't just cardists at CardistryCon. We had a guy who was doing card castles. You had kendama people. Like it wasn't not to put down. I don't know if kendama people is the right term. I mean kendama is. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Kendama people. Like it was just really
Was
cool to have like the expansion of like, all right, like yes, we this is a cardistry convention, but like,
yeah. There's other
yeah.
was
subcultures related.
2017 also Ghost Cubes? Was that Ghost Cubes year? Or was that
Uh,
20?
what is that again?
That's
Oh,
like the
yeah, it might have
I
been.
think that
wooden
was. I think
cubes.
that was that. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah,
We
yeah.
also did the
Okay.
counselor thing. So
Mhm,
there were people who had tags that said counselor on them. Like they
Yeah,
would like 2017 was the year where like Cardistry-Con like was like experimenting and figuring things out. And like
mhm.
we there was this thing where like I know me and like Stan and a bunch of other people had like shout out Stan had
Yeah, shout out to Sam.
tags that said counselor, and our job was basically to like make people feel comfortable at the con.
Mhm.
Was like
hmm
to
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
if we saw somebody who like wasn't talking to anybody, was a little shy, be like, hey, what's up? Like let's
Mhm. Yeah.
who's your favorite cardist? Let's go hang out with them. Like,
totally.
And that's when Shiv had his Card Destroy uh
The
booth
graveyard?
type thing. The graveyard. There
The
you go.
the
graveyard.
graveyard.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
debuted in
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Berlin.
Oh, and then he brought it to LA
Yeah.
where they're
That was really
destroying
cool.
cards. Yeah.
And I believe that LA was the same year with Scott Dyer, the card stacker.
Card stacker,
Yeah.
yeah. And the
Oh
card
yeah.
thrower guy was there too. Oh, what's his
And Rick
face?
Oh,
Smith.
Rick Smith
Rick
Jr.
Smith. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he like threw a card at Kenner and like hit Kenner in the face or something.
I
He's like,
remember
you started this.
he was on stage too, and Cardis were kind of brutal, like, because he was trying to throw a card in like to a watermelon, and
Yeah.
Oh, what? Yeah, when it
he
still.
wasn't. It wasn't working.
Yeah, yeah.
We're all just
It
sitting there like,
eventually worked.
Yeah.
and then
He
he
also
finally
had the
got it in the
tutters.
Watermelon, and we're like, "Yay!" Did
Yeah.
it.
There was I think it was C Tut and maybe one other person, but the Tutters were there as
The
well doing a
Tutters, yep,
cutting workshop.
yeah,
Yeah.
the face, the
Oh, yeah, that's
face,
right.
face guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Chase.
yeah.
Chase. Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Very cool.
That was a big con too. It
It
really
was
felt like,
massive.
holy, this is like this leveling up.
Yeah,
Yo,
for sure.
shout out
And
to
even
Bucks for
the
bringing Kogi too and In and Out.
oh yeah, the Kogi truck was fired. The In-N-Out truck was
Oh,
just top tier.
What
Who
a
was
oh,
in the competition in that one?
that was
Edgar.
Edgar and
Edgar
James.
and
Yeah,
James
Grand
in the
James.
final.
Yeah, that was a solid one.
But also, I was looking
Glorious.
back. That's also kind of when like Yang Chan kind of premiered too. Like he was in that contest initially.
He
Oh, that's
was.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and Claire Fournier, I believe,
Claire Fournier
Hmm.
was that year
who
too.
had some killer submissions, and then this guy called. Do you remember like his name's like Gij or Gij
Hmm.
Gij? He had crazy one hand cuts.
That was G doing cardistry on IG, I think.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
He was like a
Literally did
life.
two-handed cuts with one hand.
It was nuts. Um, yeah, LA was nuts. It was great.
Yeah.
What a good time. That's when
Mm-hmm.
A1 like kind of premiered too, in a way, right?
Turbo, right?
Turbo,
Trill
yeah,
It
Turbo.
Daddy
was
Turbo
Turbo.
Flex Gang.
Yeah, yeah. They all filmed that all in one night at a garage parking lot.
Yeah, they're like, we have
Yeah.
nothing. We got to film
Crazy
something.
reaction. Yeah.
Bro,
You
there's
know,
like there's like 4 links on YouTube of different angles of people filming that video when it
yeah.
premiered. They were like, "Don't
I have
film
one
this."
of
People
them.
were like, "We're gonna film it."
It was
Yeah,
crazy
exactly.
because like Karma Sutra was premiered in that, and
Yeah.
like uh, back
Backdrop to
backdrop to skirt,
skirt,
Skirt. Yeah.
and then they never released it.
Bahamas.
They never
Hype,
Yeah.
released it. Yeah.
hype.
I thought Tobias put it on his website, on anyone's website.
I
No.
I don't
don't think
think
he
so.
they never released it. Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
Keeping it underground.
Yeah.
Okay,
I have the link, but I need to
I
see
got the
it.
link. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
aged beautifully.
yup. You gotta crypto me if you want to see it, though. I'll
Send
send you my
funds to my Ether wallet.
Okay, so why don't we move
BTC
to the next then? Hong Kong.
Hong
Hong
Kong.
Kong. That's
This
where we
Yeah.
all met Yang Chan.
Oh,
Yes. Shout
unbelievable.
out to the legend,
Yeah,
man. What a
that was
guy.
clutch. Like shouts out to the Bucks for making that happen because like
Yeah.
Um, we were able to get the two finalists there, Dobby and
Macaco.
Luis.
Hmm.
And then I was like, yo, like we got to get Yang Chen as well. And Bucks
Mm.
like helped out to like get him admission
Oh
and
wow, I did not know that. Very
arrange for
cool.
him to
Yeah,
come. And it was really fortunate that he did because like
yeah.
he's hands down like one of the greatest.
He didn't speak a lick of English, but we were able to communicate through cards
Bro,
and just reactions, which was the only thing you needed to talk to Yang.
I wish I had video footage of it, but at the after party, I maybe for like 20 minutes, you were teaching him like one of your like tutting routines, and it was one of the
Yeah,
coolest moments because you didn't, there
Yeah,
was no lang, there was no talking. You just were like,
he
you do this and this, and
he
he
learned
got it. He got it
instantly. Dude,
like
yeah.
instant.
I think David he has footage of that.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah, yeah,
David Gui.
yeah. I forgot his last, like BBA Kurd or something like that.
Yeah,
David
yeah.
Beankerd, David
Oh,
Talbois.
yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
he goes by many names.
He goes
Yes,
by
he
many
does.
names.
And
Um,
Discord is Bird Pussy.
yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Exposed.
I kind of, because last time I used this laptop, I was doing the missing Discord jam, and so when I opened it, it was still on that thing. I saw a bunch of people jamming, so I went on like real quick, and then I told them we were doing a little secret podcast for Cardistry Con, and everybody was like, "No way!" They were so super stoked.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
like the first to hear it.
Shout out to
Yang's Cardistry Con Championship first round video that year is like maybe one of I think it's the greatest first round Cardistry Con Championship video of all time. It's
ever.
Is it the
crazy.
one where he like
When it
counts down
hot.
to like doing stuff with one hand?
No,
Yeah,
this was I'm thinking of like the what 15 was it 15 seconds to impress or
Yes,
something?
yes, yes, yes,
He
yes,
like
yes,
because
yes,
he
yes.
he introduced like he premiered like that 4 packet cut he does and like the one card transfer
Vision?
thing he does, vision, all that. Do you know? Yeah, I remember seeing that
Yeah.
being like, who is this person?
Mm, for sure. This came out
Cooked.
of nowhere.
dude.
Was that like the first time y'all knew about him? Was it from 15 Seconds to Impress, or did you know about him
And
beforehand?
saw some because he was kind of just doing crazy one hand cuts before with like a lot of
Yeah, I think
continuous movements and stuff.
I found out about this stuff from Instagram
Yeah.
and just saw him doing like a bunch of like crazy one-handed moves.
Did BCA post him before the competition? Do you remember that?
I might have, but he was kind of just like a one hand cut
Could. He
monster
was
at
like
that
very
point.
mysterious. Yeah.
Very mysterious.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you're right. He definitely taught us stuff before the competition, but then when he did the 15 seconds to impress, I think that's when everybody like tuned in for sure to see who this guy was.
Yeah, yeah, crazy. Um,
Yeah,
what some other stuff? Bangers premiered at that con, right?
yeah.
Like XCM.
XCM.
XCM, yes.
Bro,
Yeah,
can we just take a moment to
yeah.
appreciate this? Is the
That's
only time I've ever seen an encore. Everybody's like, play it again, run it
how
back.
how many times did they play it in Hong Kong? Like three
I think like
times,
2 or 3 times, and
right?
like many people had tears in their eyes. I was
Dan was
shaking,
weeping
like
apparently. Dan was
Dan was crying.
crying.
He was crying for sure. He was definitely crying. Like that was the
He's
first
like, my
time
kids, these
that
are
I
my kids.
ever
I'm so proud.
did like artistry's never been so cool. Like, and not only
Yes.
that, but like, dude, they did magic, like real magic. I
Hmm.
remember like rewatching the one where like Noel shoots the card and then
Oh,
another
where
one
he
comes
like
around.
goes like this and like
Yes.
hits it over and then
And
like goes
like,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
even
yeah.
when you know how it works, you're like, dude, like
Yeah.
how? Like,
I think that's
it's
when
insane.
Noel introduced a whole new like criteria
Yeah.
to cardistry
The
with magic,
table
and
stuff,
that
that
worked.
one, like, oh,
Yeah, and then table moves for sure. No one was really doing table moves at the time, and Aviv just fucking destroyed that. Destroyed that. I mean, he already did in sequence with the symbol thing, but then he
yeah.
just expanded so much more.
The last time I saw table stuff like that was like hand lords, like when they were
And
having the
Lord stuff.
competitions on the table.
Yeah.
When that last move, I don't remember the name, but where the cards like switch. I mean, that
Hmm.
was just the craziest thing. I thought Thomas Sutra was the craziest move, and then Noel did that, and I was like, all
Yeah.
right,
I think
like,
the decibel level of reactions during that time was, I think, the loudest it's ever been, if I'm not
Yeah, the
mistaken.
room was
I've
shaking.
never. The room was shaking, yeah, especially how small that venue was. I
Room was
just,
shaking.
It was because people were like jumping up and down, like decks were being thrown, and like it was just mayhem. Like,
Yeah, the
yeah,
brands were on fire that year because A1,
five.
hmm
Mix '08,
Yeah.
XCM. I think Nick dropped his video
Mix
too.
08
Caught in
was
the
at.
act?
Were those the same year?
I don't know if Mix 08 was premiered at a con. I think it was just
No, but
released
like for
I think
the
Mix oh 08
final,
was
no,
nominated. Mix oh 08 was
nominated. It was
nominated
nominated.
for an
Oh,
award.
gotcha.
So it
Then it was.
screened because they were
Yeah, yeah,
recapping the
yeah.
Yeah,
And then
they
Fontaine also had some crazy drops that year too, right? Like the Carter and the
Yeah, that was
Burger
the
video.
first Rip and Dip
yeah,
collab.
the rip and
Hmm
dip.
Yeah, solid.
They when they screened XCM, Cardistry-Con went live, but they just showed everybody's faces. They didn't show the screen. Everybody in the comments was so
Oh,
mad.
so
It was the
bad.
ultimate troll. It
It
was a
was so
great
bad.
troll. I was so happy.
There's something about just hearing reactions to a Cardistry video, but you can't see it. And
Yeah.
it was like just a continuous like, ah. And I was like, come on, like I was at home, like I'm gonna KMS. You gotta show me the shit.
that's the exact same marketing technique for Paranormal Activity, if I
Yeah.
recall.
Um, what I guess Kyle also dropped that year, right? It was kind of Kyle's like debut into the scene as a serious card guy.
Yeah, I mean, like Kyle's always been really good at cardistry, but I think like people saw him as a filmer, like just a filmer. Like they're like he's a filmer who can do cardistry, and like I feel like Portland is really I think where he blossomed
Yeah,
with showbiz, but
Showbiz.
like
yeah, that's a good segue.
slowly
It's a
was
good
like
segue.
you know,
Yeah, to Portland because
bro,
yeah, that was the very first video
Portland was
shown, right?
crazy.
That was the very first video they showed. I thought.
I don't remember. It might have been, but I remember like hearing that they were filming it and working on it, and that video was it's first of all unbelievably well produced. Just like Kyle knows how to make a cardistry video really well. Like he's seen what Alan Hagen has done and what like all these guys have done over the years, and like just learned and is a master at it. And um, Showbiz is still like to this day one of my favorite videos. And I still have somewhere in my playlist on YouTube like the reaction. I think forget who filmed it, but like they filmed like the reactions. And
Oh yeah, the move where
Kyle
he's
does
like
that
"Doo, doo,
move
doo,
where he
doo, doo, doo,
boop, 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 boop.
with the
Like
beat.
it was
Oh man,
insane.
crazy.
And then he does that one where he has the four cards and he throws them and they like it's the
Oh,
craziest stuff. Like
It was uh,
XCM vibes.
it was Kyle and Sprat, right?
It's Colin Spratt.
Kyle and
Yeah,
Sprat, yeah. Sprat. Oh, what an
that
animal.
was so cool too. Because me being kind of an old head, and like I only really knew the big brands at that point and
Hmm
stuff. And Cardistry-Con was kind of like a big brand premiere type event, and then
hmm
that was one of the bigger major moments where like these two young cardists who weren't associated with any brand dropped a video
Yeah,
of equal caliber to the big brands.
yeah, for sure.
And
Yeah.
I was
The
like,
the the Bucks were stoked because they used their deck.
Yeah.
yes,
They
yeah.
used it there. Yeah, they're like, oh, someone gave
Remarketing,
me a
baby.
card. Yeah.
It was so cool. Yeah,
Portland.
that was a really good con. That was
Portland
Yeah,
cool.
was
And like
nuts.
Portland was
it was
nuts.
big. It was a lot of it was like
That
300
was the
people or
biggest.
something.
Yeah.
The venue was
That
nuts.
was
It was
like
at the
five,
Crystal
right?
Crystal Ballroom or
Crystal
whatever.
Ballroom.
Crystal
Like
Ballroom.
Billie
Yeah,
Eilish had
yeah.
played there like the week before or
Yeah.
The
something.
the floor like actually moved. Like
Yeah.
when people were watching the videos, you actually felt the floor moving, and it's like something that had like every time you would see a concert there would do the same thing because it's just like an
hmm
old building,
Yeah.
which is terrifying, but it's also really cool. And it was just I remember like Lars's video dropped and like um yeah the reactions were just felt so powerful in that room because there were so many people.
hmm
Definitely. And that was Fontaine Futures as well. And
That was
Chase's part.
oh,
Oh
Heritage.
yeah. Heritage. Yeah. There was a stampede after the video. Like people were about to
yeah.
get trampled by Cardis trying to run to the the dealer's room.
Oh, the dealer's room, yeah.
Yeah.
That was very, very cool. I actually had Sib on the phone. Me and Sib thought it was just like we were just doing a video, and then we see like the decks roll out, and we see like many people, and
Hmm.
Sib is like on FaceTime, like, what is this? Like,
Yeah.
we've been Fontained. We don't even know, like, we didn't know what happened. Like, we're like, there's more decks, and like Chase's like I remember Chase being like kind of out of the scene a little bit, very like pulled back, was kind of doing his thing, and like it was really cool that he was when his face popped up, everybody's heart just like got warmer, like oh my God, he's
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
Like
There's a lot of convincing. I remember that I was trying to convince him. He's like,
a
you don't have
lot
to
of
do this solo,
convincing.
but like just do one move and
Oh,
one
it's all he
move.
had to do was one move. That's all he had to do.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was great. Portland was awesome.
Portland
And then
was
Noel, what did Noel released his Uno video?
Uno, yeah.
Yeah, with the sick ass animation.
The
Yeah,
I think
with
animation.
I'm.
and the one that display move where it like
It just
pops
goes like that.
open.
Yeah,
Mm, yeah, yeah, yeah,
that video was unbelievable.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
That
there's
was.
Tobias was telling me. So you know that move I'm talking about where it, like pops open into like that whatever
Yeah.
design. Noel like sent him a photo of like the underside of it at first. Where and like
Mhm.
if you see the underside of that move before it like pops out, it looks crazy. And Noel sent that to Tobias, and Tobias was like, "Oh, that looks crazy, crazy move." And Noel was like, that's the setup for the move, bro." Um, he didn't know it was coming. Matt Samuel also dropped that his
Matt
video
Samuel
Oh,
did
out of
drop,
bounds.
out of
So
bounds.
good.
for the Houndstooth deck or something like that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's had the prestige in it.
the Prestige.
Uh,
Yup.
Artists
Oh, okay.
love magic because some of the biggest Cardistry Con reactions are just like dudes doing magic tricks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, like what like if you show I feel like if you show somebody like a cardistry video, like they're always like, "Oh yeah, it's like magic." And like for years, I feel like I and probably a bunch of cardists were like, "No, it's not. It's cardistry. Like, get it right. Like, we're not
Mm.
magicians." And now we're kind of like, "Well, we're kind of magicians. Like,
Yeah,
well, we do
exactly.
love magic. Like, it's magical." Remember that Theory 11 saying like, "It's not magic, but magical." Like, yeah, it's magical. Like it's, and it's blossomed into this thing of like, yeah, like we're basically magicians. Like we're just fancy magicians. We're show
We're just
offs.
fancy magicians. If you can do
Yeah.
cardistry, you can do sleight to a degree.
Yeah.
I
It's an
mean,
easy pipeline. The Venn
yeah,
diagram
for
is
sure.
there.
I mean, before, like all of us, we started with Magic
Oh
first,
yeah.
and we just switched up, you know?
That's
oh,
something that's so interesting now that I always forget is like we all started with magic, or at least like in some way was connected to it.
Yeah.
But now, and probably for the last like 10 years, it's been like this. But um, there's people who are just starting cardistry seeing cardistry. Like,
Yeah.
not even, I'm sure they've seen a card trick, obviously, but like they're not like, oh, here's a card trick. Oh, there's also cardistry. Like, no, they're seeing cardistry and learning and discovering
Yeah.
it's as its own thing. It's very cool.
I think it's the opposite now too, where they start with cardistry and be like, oh, I can learn some color changes. I can learn some slides.
100%.
You know
Yep.
what I mean? Like, I want to learn this trick for sure. And then in Portland, that competition too. I mean, every competition was crazy, right?
Portland's nuts.
Yeah.
Lars killed it
Salvador
with the
and
green decks.
yeah, and Lars, yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
That was and then
And that
COVID
cash
hit.
prize was huge too.
Cash was huge.
Yeah, and then
yeah, it
COVID
was
hit.
it.
You're right.
And then COVID hit,
Global
yeah,
pandemic
yeah.
took Cardistry on Con out for a few
Because when
years.
Yeah.
what was where were we were supposed to go to Mexico, right?
No,
Uh,
it was supposed to be Brussels,
It was supposed to be Brussels. There was
oh,
also a
Brussels.
Cardistry Con
Belgium.
Mexico. Yeah, there was the official CC was going to be Belgium, and then the Monsanto homies were doing the Mexico Con, which also just like it was just the pandemic just kind of took over. It made it hard for people to travel.
yeah, that's
Um,
right.
yeah,
And then
Brussels
how
was going to
long
be
was
cool.
the break until San Diego?
Man.
San Diego was 2022,
It
so it
was
was like a 3-year gap.
Whoa.
Yeah,
crazy.
San Diego was the only one I missed.
That's right, Matt. You missed that one.
I had work obligations, which by the way, I don't work
Yeah.
there anymore, so
Thank
really
Mm.
God.
wasn't worth
Thank
it.
God. Yeah. Um, but yeah, the start of the show for San Diego was definitely those pillars. You know,
I heard about that. I wasn't there. Oh, it's all I heard about.
best thing ever. Yeah, those were our friends. They just were in the way. Like a tall man, dude.
uh,
I felt like San Diego Con was like everybody was still trying to like relearn how to interact
Oh, we were
with
so
human
awkward.
beings.
Everyone was so
Everyone
awkward.
was so awkward. I was like, I felt the energy. I'm like, why are people being weird right now? Like, what
We were
is
all
this?
awkward. We all
Like,
kind of like sucked at cardistry a little bit too. Like,
right? Yeah. It felt a little off, and I'm like, I think it was the pandemic made something wrong with our brains here,
definitely.
you know?
It was if there was a weird energy there for sure too, and also like for
Right?
the awards, they like retroactively awarded stuff from like the previous 3 years, so the awards went on for
Yeah.
so long. Um,
And I was checked out. I was like, we're still this part of the con right now, guys. Let's jam.
yeah, but there was some banger videos that year,
Oh
like
yeah.
Sprat's video when
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
Tycoon.
Tycoon.
Tycoon. Yeah, that location was amazing. I was like
really cool.
finding that house.
Yes,
It was very
yes.
sick. Yeah.
And who else? Lars had a video.
Yeah.
Lars had a video, for the Nickelodeon deck, right?
The Nickelodeon
Yeah, with
deck.
Fontaine.
Yeah, Fontaine.
Um, but yeah, no, it definitely San Diego felt different for sure. I think because like
Oh,
leading up to COVID, like just the year over year progression of the con, it was just like growing and growing and growing and growing and growing, and
mhm.
then
And then stopped. Take a
stopped in its
break,
tracks.
guys. We were going crazy too, you
Yeah.
know? We were going nuts. We're so excited. Um,
I think that
and
was when
then
I kind of like took a break from cardistry. I feel like I was like
I think
not
a
like
lot of people did too,
I think a
Yeah.
honestly.
lot of people really took like a step back. I remember like I remember being concerned with how much it didn't bother me that I was missing the con at that moment. Like
Hmm.
I was like I'm growing up and I don't like this. Like I have too many obligations and I don't like it. I just want to be able to travel and shuffle cards and I can't. Like
Yeah.
my employer at the time was like, "Listen, you can go shuffle cards with your buddies, but you're not going to have a job when you come back." And I was like, I mean, I'm kind of an adult now, so I kind of need a job. So I
For
guess I'll do
real.
that. Um, yeah, dude, that was an interesting time for
Yeah,
sure.
you were in our hearts though, Matt. Everybody was
I still
looking
got the
for
name tag.
Stefan.
Ben,
Yeah,
shout out Ben
exactly.
Pratt. Send me
Yeah,
the name
yeah.
tag.
Hell yeah. Shout to Pratt for sure. Um, and the missing video. You can't forget about missing video. That's when it was Trin and forgetting his name.
Quinn?
No,
I don't know. I don't. I wasn't. I don't know.
Brandon,
Sorry,
help me out
a
here.
phone call just came. Can you repeat what you said?
The missing video with Trin and
Oh,
he has glasses. I feel so bad. Yeah,
oh,
my brain's
Sky,
going.
Sky?
Sky.
Oh, Sky.
Sky,
Arno. Arno.
Sky.
Oh
Yep,
yeah,
Sky.
they went crazy.
Yeah, yeah. They went crazy. Yeah, with color shift. Shout out to
Yes,
them.
yes,
That was an
that was
amazing
an
video.
insane
Shout
video.
out
Excited.
Sky Cards.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
type of video I remember watching and being like, I am officially old, and the youth are so good
I
now,
know.
and I can't. I literally
So
can't do a single thing they do in that video.
good.
Like,
I
Old
know.
and
And then I
crusty.
would like ask them to do the moves like in the video,
so
hit first try. I
consistent.
was like, oh wow, you guys are so consistent. You guys are too
It's not
good.
fair.
Wait.
You can't be that good and that
That's
consistent.
not
That's
fair
like
at
being
all.
really sexy, but you have a good singing voice too. Like, you can't have both. You know? I like when a artist drops an
Yeah.
amazing banger video and then they kind of suck in real life, you know? It's like, it feels good.
And yeah, and that's not a thing. That is not a thing
No.
anymore too, because
Bro.
like these kids are just too
Yeah.
consistent. Like, oh man, I know I hate using that word. Where I'm just like, I'm getting too old, but
Because
it's
it's not, you know, it's.
Oh, we are. We're
yeah,
getting old in cardistry years. I've been doing cardistry for
yeah,
17
Oh my
years.
goodness.
Like
yeah,
I'm old,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, for
Yo,
sure.
like I'm ready to retire. Like
Yeah,
I'll still shuffle cards, but like I
yeah.
want to
Like,
retire.
Matt, you got in the game when we were like teens, and you were like not even a teenager. So
Dude,
Yeah,
I
you
was
were
a
like 5 years
child.
old.
yeah,
I started touching cards at like 7, and
yeah.
I had to
During
do
the
I had to like
during the biggest
adapt moves.
anaconda ever.
The anaconda was as big as me, and I had to adapt moves because my hands were so. So I had to do circle fan using like my chest to help, and like I was doing Pandora like wrong, and like, but yeah, like it's what a ride.
Well,
No,
maybe we
Yes,
can
man.
segue to the this year's con happening in like 2 weeks in Tokyo.
Oh, we
we can't
missed out
forget
on
about
London though,
London.
Oh,
right?
London. Yeah, what am I
London.
saying?
London.
London Con.
Oh, before we go to
Church
London,
con.
shout out to the first 5K though that everybody ran
Oh
in San
yeah, yeah,
Diego.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so shout out to Ben Pratt for making us all healthy, active
And
cardists
shouts out to the
living
attendees
correlate
for
with
doing it. Like the participation was through the roof.
like everybody, everybody. There's a bunch of cardists running through San Diego to the chicken spot, right? It was like that's where
Oh
everybody met.
yeah. Um,
Yeah, and we were just everybody at that restaurant was looking. I was like, "Who? What are these kids? They
A
ran
bunch of
here?
guys
What?"
running up doing Charlotte haircuts in both hands.
and there's just like a trail of cards for 5 kilometers everywhere.
You could follow all those cards back to the venue, and you wouldn't
Some
get
of
lost.
those kids were athletes too, because I remember getting like lapped. They did it twice. They made it and they ran back and passed me, and then they came back and did it again.
Who knew
They're like,
cardists are
I may
so
not be
rad?
able to do, I might not be as good of a cardist as him, but I'm gonna run him out of there.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm gonna, dude, it was really cool to see. I mean, I definitely didn't run, but it was really cool to see.
Yeah, I didn't run at the time. I thought everybody were fools doing that. I'm like, I'm gonna go back to the hotel. I'm gonna take some shots, and I'll meet you guys there.
Yeah, I'll
And
see you
You'll
guys
that's
later.
drink,
what I
and I'll
did.
see it.
Yeah, yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit.
London was cool though, dude. ChurchCon was really cool.
Yes, big
Oh yeah,
church con.
London. We could go to big church time. Yeah,
It was
said our
cool.
prayers, give our sins away. You know,
Pope Oliver.
Pope Oliver, what a guy. I think that was the best introduction for the
And
con
Ali G in
was
the
Oliver coming
house.
in. And
Ali
Ali G, shout
G.
out to Stern, shout out to
Booyakasha.
Stern for sure. Oh, we can't forget about Michael Stern's introduction for
Oh yeah,
every
okay,
single con.
yeah. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Let's talk
He
Stern.
goes,
SMC.
let's
Let's
talk
talk
Stern.
Stern.
You know, like
What
he.
about the battle between Stern and Andre in New York?
So good.
Oh, I wasn't there for that one.
That
No,
was
You saw the video though,
unbelievable.
right?
talk
Dude, I
about
almost
that,
got
Preston. Talk
trampled in
about
that
that.
crowd. It was so crazy, so rap. I was standing behind. I kept trying to jump up to like see what was going on, and like it was some dude who was just like kept backing up, and I like almost fell down, and I'm like, what's happening? And
Oh,
it was insane, dude. That was insane. That was
oh, it was like
crazy.
it was the Cardistry like rap battle
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
I'm not a
Yeah.
cardist.
I'm not a
I'm not a
cardist.
artist.
Oh
It was really
yeah.
fun.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, Stern is has brought an energy to CC that is you can't. There's nobody
Mhm.
like him. Like you can't
You can't
replace it.
replace
Like
him. You can't replace him.
you
If there was
cannot
another
replace him.
host, I don't think half of us would show up because we like
He
this guy
is he
hosting.
is
It
one
wouldn't
of
be
the.
the same.
He's funny. He makes it interesting, and like he's able to like control, like kind of do crowd control, like be like, all
Hmm.
right, guys, like here were games and stuff. My favorite things like leading up to the con, he'll like call me, like or in the past he would call me and be like, yo, like here's what we're gonna do, here's how I'm gonna
Hmm.
dress,
Hmm.
and I heard he was doing Ali G, and I was like, this is. I said, please wear it the whole weekend. I need to see you like walking through the streets of London, yelling "Boya Kashan." He
I
is great,
I
man.
remember when he got the outfit. It was at the office, and he like went to the restroom. He put it on, and he just came out of the restroom like, "Look at my fit for Cardistry-Con."
He came out as Ali G,
He
talking
came
like him.
out, and he
He's
goes all
great.
out. You know, he's like a method actor. He
He doesn't
shaves his
stop.
head. for the character. He does his
Yeah,
thing, man. He really does his thing.
I love Stern, man.
And he's an amazing cardist too. You won't really see him with the deck, but you give him a
Oh
deck
yeah,
of
he
cards, man.
cooks.
That man
He's
can
good.
he
It's the same
cooks.
thing with like what Spencer was doing. He got the one move, same
Exactly. It's
thing,
One
all
no
you
move.
no
need. It's
look,
all you need.
the
That's
one
all
hand
you need,
waterfall
and
catch.
it's a banger, man. That's
That's
it.
so cool.
Yeah, yeah. Certainly one of the guys that's been to all the cons as well. We should have got him on as well, but he's busy hanging out with Oliver's younger brother today.
Damn. Okay.
Okay.
He's in town.
Legendary link up.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shout out to Oliver's brother, Gusto, I believe is his name.
All right, so
Uh,
Brendan, you were mentioning like hyping up this year's con in Tokyo.
Yeah. So Tokyo. I mean, from like a city perspective, this might be the coolest location, I think. Yeah. Tokyo is just Tokyo's Tokyo. The Japanese card community.
have you been working with Tobias and Oliver for the
Yeah, I'm
con?
just kind of like doing little business admin. So,
Gotcha.
but this year it's a much smaller event, but intentionally smaller
Yeah.
because I think a lot of the feedback from like London and San Diego was it almost felt too big. It feels weird to say, but like it hits a point where there's so many people that you're not all interacting together. You like section off into
Hmm.
groups. You all do your own thing, and there's not a
Yeah.
communal jam vibe. So I think that's kind of the intention this
But I
year.
heard the
Smaller,
I heard the big part of it too in Japan. It was hard to find a venue that was like in the
definitely.
middle, right? It was either you go big venue or
Yeah,
small venue,
yeah,
right? There was no in between where it was like 100 people or you got like six
totally.
hundred people.
So it's a
Yeah.
smaller venue. It's going to be a little cramped, but
Hmm.
you know, we'll be forced to
Yeah.
shuffle as one. And
Oh yeah,
yeah, I
for
think
sure.
I haven't been told the exact content layout, but I was promised banger premieres from Anyone Dealer's Grip, I think Lotus in Hand, Missing, like the usual suspects.
Hmm.
Independent
Yes.
film premieres, obviously. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Who could
Hmm.
that be? Um,
Mm.
uh, panel discussions with your favorite artists, but hopefully in like a not super
Yeah.
slow way. Because there's been some panel discussions in
Hmm.
the past, which is kind of just like, um,
Yeah, like Harvard status
yes,
talk.
like my brain too small to understand.
Okay, for sure to comprehend
Big
big talk
talk.
for sure.
I think Sprat might be giving a
Yeah.
talk. I don't know. I heard through the grapevine.
Yes, Sprat. Yeah, yeah, I heard Sprat's doing a talk for sure.
But I think there's going to be a lot of like just jam time, honestly.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah,
And
yeah.
maybe we can talk to that, like the culture of jamming at Cardistry-Con. Like, how does that work? Like, Matt, okay, for you, for example, Matt, you've been going to Cardistry-Con since you've been very young, right? So, like,
Hmm.
say, like, there's
Yeah.
a young cardist going to their first Cardistry-Con in Tokyo. Do you have any, like, tips to navigate or survive or make friends or, like, jam with people?
Yeah. Um, it can be very
Yeah.
intimidating, like walking up to somebody, um, especially somebody you've been watching online for X amount of years. Just do it.
Hmm.
Like, this is your opportunity to be around like everybody that you want to be around. Like, whether you're a dealer script fan, missing fan, you like everything, something super specific, you're brand new to cardistry, you've been doing it 20 years, like this is your time to I always say, like, you could shuffle cards all year by yourself. This is the time to do it with
Hmm.
your friends and make new friends and, like, do it with people that you've always wanted to meet. Like, I remember, like, writing questions down on my phone to ask people and being like, hey, do you mind if I ask you this? And they're like, "Oh, like, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like, what do you got? Like, you know, take advantage and, like, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and, like, everybody's a little awkward and, we're all, a little weird, but like we're all the same kind of weird. We all like shuffling cards all day. Like
For sure.
this is you're with your people. Like you can feel comfortable. Um,
Yeah.
I think that there's nothing, it's the best 3 days of my year
Yeah.
always. Like because
Hmm.
it's just it's just jamming. Yeah, you get to see videos, but like majority of the time you're jamming.
Hmm.
Like you don't like yeah, you'll sleep a little bit, you'll eat some food here and there, but like you're shuffling cards, man. Like some of my best moves have been finished, started, or in somewhere in the middle because I went to Cardistry Con and I met somebody and I got a new input on a move that I otherwise wouldn't have gotten. You get to, like I said, you're meeting people, that you've been looking up to for years. You finally get to meet them. Like, don't be afraid to just say, "Hey, Tobias, can you do face for me? Can you look at mine? Can you give me
Totally.
some tips?" Like,
Yeah,
this is your time to do it. Um,
yeah,
and I think that I encourage people to like not just chill with your circle, like go
Yeah.
out, like literally talk to every single person at the con if you can. Like you're gonna learn something from everybody. There's nothing like it. Discord's cool and all this stuff's cool, but like being in one room together, experiencing these things together, like the jamming there's nothing like it. It's
yeah,
so
for sure.
special,
And
so
especially the
inspirational.
the little kids, like you'll
Yeah.
see a 7-year-old shuffling cards crazy, and then a couple years later, they're dropping solo videos, and you're gonna realize like, yo, this kid was at this con, and he just progressed crazy. Like he wasn't even touching that much momentum at the time, but now look at him, he's killing it. And I always
That's
like
what
to
we were
see
talking
kids
about
like
with
that.
Carter, man.
Yeah,
Carter
yeah,
pulled up to the beta con, and nobody knew who he was except for the
yeah,
little kid who could do Padil, and look at him now. Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
people are dying to talk to Carter, and
yeah,
like
yeah,
that could be you.
for sure. Yeah, I met this one kid in London, George. She was so tiny, and then now I
Oh,
see
George
him.
Grayson?
Yeah,
George is
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
Shout
and now
out
look at
to
him.
George.
Yeah, what a guy that guy is, like
So
he's so
good.
cool now. Like I'm like, yo, you leveled up like crazy. It's only been not even it's been a year since I saw you, and now you're killing the
Yeah.
game. And
Matt, what was it that
that
George
that could
said?
be
I don't
anybody.
I don't learn moves, I make them.
That is hard.
That's
Dude,
yeah,
George is one of my favorite artists right now. It's like
yeah, dude,
he
he's
he
so
has the
cool.
ability to like somehow make moves that all fall into the same theme, yet they're all so
Mm,
different. Like
different.
it's his style. Like he has
Yeah.
found a style well before I think most people do in their time of doing cardistry. Like he's
Hmm.
found a style. He knows what works for him. He's been able to do it very, very well.
Hmm.
It's always a pleasure anytime I get to see something new from him on Discord or something. Anytime I see
Hmm.
he's in there, I always try to hop in. He's
Yeah.
unbelievable. Shout out to all the Discord people, but George in particular. That guy is insane.
Yeah, what a guy, bro. I mean, yeah, I'm proud of that kid for sure. But yeah,
Super proud of him.
there's gonna be a lot of kids like that at the con, and
Yeah.
definitely interact with them, and because you just don't know if it could be in the next like anyone video or missing video, the top top guys, you never
Definitely.
know. But that's what I love, and then seeing people's like your idols moves in person, it's a different experience than watching it like on a phone or on a
For sure.
laptop. But seeing Tobias just do like phase like Matt said, or you know Oliver doing his moves, or anybody in person is just a better experience
Totally.
watching Cardistry live
And
without a
you're right,
doubt.
Matt, too. Like, no matter how old we are, the age difference, the skill level difference, how long we've been doing cardistry, we all speak the exact same language. We all talk cardistry, cardistrinese.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, we all speak
We all
civil, man.
speak
We all speak
civil.
civil. We all know how to do.
Sable,
We all
We
speak
speak
civil,
civil and
man. We know
padiddle.
like
yeah.
that's it.
So talk to, like, yeah, say for example, you want to talk to Oliver about whatever, he'll get it. Ask the questions. And everyone is so I don't think I've ever met like an actual terrible human cardist. Like, do they? I don't know if they exist. Because yeah, we're all cut from the same
We're
cloth.
all
The
magicians.
trials and tribulations we've all gone through to become a cardist, we've all gone through it. So tell
Yeah,
yeah, reach out, talk to people, make friends.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
And it'll be
Yeah.
easier than ever
Some
here.
of my best friends I met at the con.
Totally. Yeah, same. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, I think it's like 150 people this year or something. It's quite small.
Yeah,
So
150.
it's going to be
Yeah, that's
big
all.
jam community vibes for sure. So
Yeah.
it's normal to be nervous as well, especially like maybe you're a
Hmm.
little self-conscious or like you feel a little awkward. We're all the
Hmm.
same, and that's normal. And it's also
Hmm.
normal to
I
suck.
still get nervous going to the
Yeah,
con. Yeah,
So
yeah. Let's go get those jiggers and be like, oh
It
wait,
is. It's all
you
exactly. It's
know?
also normal to suck. Like it's super
Yeah,
cool if you come up and try to show me a move and you
it's
can't
yeah,
do it the first time, because then I know you're like a human
exactly.
being.
yeah.
Like if you do it the first time, I'm going to be like, all right, like this guy's like yeah, that's awesome, but like, dude, like it's so refreshing when you're at Cardistry Con and you see Tobias drop a card. You're like, oh,
Human.
okay, all right,
He,
human,
he's
we're
not
fine.
AI.
It's okay.
He's not AI.
Don't be self-conscious about
Yeah.
your cardistry. Like, just do cardistry while you're there, because
Yeah.
there's definitely been times too. I think some people are like really hesitant to like show a move or like kind of do cardistry live in front of people in any capacity. Screw that. Bust
Yeah.
it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. Um, what else? Oh, there's a contest this year too. So
The film
The film
Film
festival.
Fest,
festival?
right? Is it one round? It's
Yeah.
one round, right?
I
Okay,
think so.
so I think they just
I'm
extended the
not too
deadline,
familiar with the film festival.
and I wanted to get some. So okay, so we've all been talking about like live premieres of videos, like Zwee's video in Berlin and stuff, and all this. And
Hmm.
I'm kind of thinking like to win a contest, is it better to like kind of just drop your sack on the table and like go all out for the live reaction? Because they hit different live sometimes the videos, or to go for a
Hmm.
perfectly curated cardistry video that's like gonna look amazing on YouTube when you watch it 100 times, or should you be
Hmm.
going for like the live angle to win? I don't really know what to do.
It depends on who's voting. Because in Berlin, the call was to do a live video
Yeah,
because the audience was voting. And so I think that Daniel had like an amazing video. It holds up. It's really great. Zwee's video is more hype, and I think that's why it won.
exactly.
Hmm.
So it really depends who's judging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know
The
how
hype always
they're gonna
wins.
judge this year?
I don't know who the
What's that, CJ?
Oh, I mean, there's a group of people picking the videos though
yeah.
for
I
the
think
film
there's like a
festival. It's
panel
like an
choosing
all of
from
newbies.
the entries, and then there's probably going to be live voting. I think for the winner.
Mm.
Because who's won in the past? So we have first year was Zwee, which that video went so crazy
Hmm.
live. Um, and then we
Right.
had
Yeah.
Set the standard for
Zui,
sure.
Edgar,
Edgar,
Hmm.
Luis.
um,
Luis and Dabby
Luis,
both went insanely hard.
Lars.
Oh man, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was cool to see two Mexico City boys win back to back though. You know, and they're like
Yeah.
brothers, so it was cool to
Yeah.
see that happening on the same team
Minty
type thing.
boys.
Yeah.
And then Lars.
I just like how, yeah, one, like, what, I feel like Strat for a one round contest is like kind of interesting because we're so used to like the multi round
Yeah.
format.
Yeah. See your point
So
for
I don't
sure.
know, like,
Yeah. Just a
Matt,
straight
how,
one v
you three, like,
one
how
type
would
thing.
you cook strategically if you had to, if you were going for gold?
Oh man. I mean, how would I cook? I feel like if you're trying to, I mean, listen,
Hype
hype
wins.
wins, right? Like, do the craziest stuff you can do. I think that videos that start off nice and chill, you got in a couple nice cuts in there, little music switch up, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, like let me smack you in the face with some crazy stuff. Like I think that there's a good balance of both, like chill, good cuts, like make it good for YouTube, and then like, all right, like this is gonna be shown live. I want to hear people scream. Like, what do I do to get that? Yeah, like the hypiest stuff you got is what you should be putting towards the end of your video, I would
Mm.
say, and like, plan it out, hit them with a couple good stuff in the middle, but like towards the end, really like, yeah, like pump out the stuff, like pump out the hype. Like, what do you have that's, do a move that you think you can only land once, because that's all you have to do is do it
Hmm.
once. Do it,
Yeah.
and maybe you'll win. Yeah,
Yeah, we talked about this in the Andrew episode, but you gotta have
You got
nukes.
nukes. You need
yeah,
nukes.
Nukes, yeah.
gotta have
Gotta have
nukes.
nukes.
Gotta have
Yeah, for
nukes.
sure. I think it's a roller coaster, you know. You have to start off like just like strong in the
Yeah.
beginning, let it ride,
Uh,
and then hit that nuke at the end.
How does it,
Very
what about like a
uh,
first move nuke? Is there a video, contest video where that's happened?
um,
Like off the rip, nuke.
for like Noel every time he does
That's yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about contest videos, but I know like that's definitely been a thing, and like I don't see why that's not. I think that's really
Yeah.
smart. I think starting off the video with something crazy, letting people breathe a little bit in the middle, and then
Mhm.
hitting them again at the end with some crazy stuff. I don't see. I think that's perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not telling anybody how to make their video, but like, I would definitely say the hypey, crazy stuff, like I
Yeah,
said,
I totally
stuff that
agree
you
though,
could
man,
probably
for sure.
land like once or twice, like, dude,
Definitely.
all you got to do is do it once. You never have to do it again.
Facts.
Yeah, yeah. I want to see that move again. Like, oh, watch
Yeah,
my
watch my
video.
video.
Yeah, what's the video?
See
I
my
think
video.
if you're gonna hit a
For sure.
I do it in the
if
video.
you're gonna hit a first
Yeah.
round nuke, you need to have like a really vibey intro where you're like walking around a little bit and like it's giving like Lord forgive me for what I'm about to do vibes, and then it like pans up to your face
Yeah.
and you're like moody, and then hit the nuke.
But it's important to know that there's different levels of nukes. So, like, in the beginning of the video, you have a nuke, but it's a little less of a nuke than the last
Mm.
move. Then in the middle of the video, the song breaks down, you have a beat change, hit him with another nuke. And now a little stronger than the first one. And now towards the end, you got the Tsar Bomba, the big, like
Yeah.
duck and cover. Like that's where you should be. I want to scream. Like a perfect example is with XCM. XCM starts with a packet floating above another packet and a card
Mhm.
flying through. Like
Mhm.
people don't even realize that's like a nuke. That's a move. Like even though
Yeah.
it's a two-person move and that got everybody's attention. The second we saw that, we were like,
Mhm.
"Whoa, this is about to be crazy."
Mhm.
Then in the middle, you have stuff like the falling cut, where it falls,
Avalanche.
avalanche,
Yeah.
little things that get stronger, and then at the end, of course, you hit it with like the strongest move, arguably ever, with the card swap, and like I constantly make comparisons to that video because I do think that's like the video, and like if you want to use that blueprint,
Mm.
like
Yeah.
nuke,
Exactly. For
nuke,
sure.
big nuke.
Yeah.
Yeah, Noel is
Yeah.
kind of the blueprint if for
Yeah.
nuking.
Yeah. For sure. But I mean, all the Cardistry competition videos, that's a great blueprint to follow as well.
Definitely.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, you see all those reactions and the timing of how they
I mean, to bring
get
it back to my Lord and
exactly.
Savior Andrew Avila, though, like his cardistry competition round, that's kind of the blueprint. Because I feel like with some of the Cardistry Con
Yeah.
championship videos there, because it's multi-round, sometimes there might be a little mid sprinkled
Mm.
in somewhere. Maybe your uncut routine it doesn't
Oh,
hit. Andrew was
100%.
just like
Yeah,
boom, boom,
yeah,
boom, boom, boom.
yeah.
Yeah. What's interesting
100%.
too is he showed what Prism
Yes,
was. Then it got progressively crazier in each round. So he did the two, then he split it, and then he's like, "Oh, I could also do five of them." Like
Yeah.
he's found a way. Like I always tell people, like when how should I close this cut? Should I do this one or this one? Do both, and then show one of them in the beginning and one at the end. Crazier one goes at the end. People know what to. They're like, "Oh, he's doing the move again. Oh, wait, it's different." Like there's many ways to apply the nuke,
yes.
you know?
Hmm. Yeah.
This is my favorite
Yeah.
podcast game, Kevin. Is like, how long until I bring up Andrew Avila competition videos? I think it's happened in every single video we've done. Um,
Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well,
Yeah.
what else about the con is kind of generally sick? Chilling, going to get food. The food is going to be incredible.
The
The
food, the
food's gonna be
food,
crazy.
the food.
I won't ruin it, but Stern has something crazy for the college, and I think kids should definitely get excited
Okay,
for what he has for sure. Yeah.
exciting.
Stern's got some stuff up his sleeve.
Yeah. But yeah. And then well, I think there's another 5K if the kids want to run through Japan with all the Cardis again. That's going to be fun. I know
I'm down.
Dan has been
I'm
training
so
for
down.
that for the past couple months. Yeah, so we'll go to do another run. I don't know when it's going to be. Um, Yeah, I'm not too sure. I know like what Sunday is gonna happen. I know they have a film festival, but do you know anything for Friday? Like what
I don't really
is
know the
the
general
plan for
structure.
Friday?
I think it's like, yeah, I think it's just gonna be good vibrational stuff. Like, it's not gonna be too
Yeah,
structured, too regimented. Um,
structured.
there'll be
Yeah.
times to come, we all congregate to watch the videos and stuff, the panels, but
hmm
I think the location too is in like Setagaya, I think.
Yeah.
It looks like a very cool area,
Yeah,
very
yeah,
cool
for
stuff
sure.
around. It's like right by distributor station. Also, like go explore Tokyo
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
take some time, find a couple homies. That's also a great thing about Cardistry-Con is like you can link up with some new or old friends and like go do fun stuff in that city and also maybe record some cardistry at the same time. It's the best vibes. So
Yeah.
don't feel obligated just to stick with
I-
at the con. Go explore the city.
Yeah.
Go explore. I've been
Oh,
telling people like go all over Japan. Like where I'm going to Kyoto after. Like go
yeah.
explore. Like you're in Japan. Like take
There
advantage.
will be I don't know how they're gonna send this out, but Stern's been making a list of things to do around the
Sweet.
venue. So he's gonna have, like a Google Maps sheet type esque thing where, there's bars,
Yo,
food, places that you
I'm
can
I'm
go.
telling everybody who's listening to this, if Stern tells you to go eat somewhere, you go eat that
You
place.
go.
You do
Yeah,
it.
you go for sure.
You go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'd be great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And there's also gonna be
And the typical games
typical
and
games,
stuff
yeah.
that will be host is gonna be, just have that. So get ready for
Definitely.
Cadiddle
Oh,
and
I want
getting
to I want to
sweet.
plug something.
Plug it
Um,
up.
yeah, so a while ago after Berlin, I made a game called Show Off,
Yes.
and I recently worked on it with Matt Samuel, and we have like a working um, website of
Sick.
it for people to play, so you
Ah,
Oh,
can
awesome.
generate,
the
move
evolution of show
categories
off
to
is
play with.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
You should
the
definitely
domain
send that
is
link to the organizers.
showoffthegame.com. All the
Yeah.
rules are on the page. You just go to how to play, and it'll tell you what to do, how to do it.
Oh, that's
So I think it'll be fun
sick.
That's
to
awesome.
link up with people at the con and
Yeah.
play the game with them. You can
Yeah,
do
yeah,
it one on
definitely. You
Sick.
should
one
spread that
or
link
like in a
around
group.
for the jams.
I
Yeah.
can't
This is
wait.
awesome.
Yeah.
I was tossing the idea around of hosting like after the con where we're jamming like little like skate games and like bringing some rare decks to like put on the table to see like who could win. And it's like the same thing with that. Like I just can't wait. Like there's something about playing those games with cardistry that is so because it's like yeah, it's a game and it's competitive, but it's also not. Like you're also it's
Mhm.
just so fun. It's so enjoyable and show off is like it's given a nice step away from skate because skate has just been just it's we've played it for
Hmm.
years. Like
Yeah.
we all know each other's crutches at this point, but like
Yeah.
show off, I can't wait to play that game. It's one
Yeah,
thing to
for
play it over
sure.
Discord, but to play it in person, it's
Mm-hmm.
really fun.
No, yeah. I didn't know you could
Yeah,
play in
this
person.
looks
That's
this I'm on the
sick.
website now, Kev. This looks
Yeah,
incredible.
I can't
thank you.
wait.
Yeah, shouts
Yeah,
out
we
to Matt
definitely need
Samuel
to.
for coding it.
Oh, very cool.
Shout out Matt
Very cool.
Samuel.
Yeah. We should definitely have like a QR code maybe at the con that
Ooh,
people could just scan it. So if
It's a good idea.
during the jam sessions, if they just want to play a game with a group of kids, so just link it
that's a
up
good
and then
point.
they could play. Yeah, for sure.
I have a
Yeah.
question. What's the appropriate amount of decks to bring to Cardistry-Con?
Oh, I'm so
Oh,
glad you asked
Because
this.
I there's some
There's
That's a
freaks
nice
out
photos,
there that are bringing like duffel
bro.
bags of cards.
I was gonna say there's a photo of me at MagicCon 2012 with a red duffel bag filled with maybe 150 decks that I
Jesus
flew on the plane with.
Christ.
They were
oh
on my lap
goodness.
on the plane. Like, yo, bring five
Yes,
decks,
thank
no
you.
more. Here's why. You're going to leave with at least a
Yep.
brick of cards, maybe more, and
Yeah.
your cards will be
Yes.
destroyed by the end of the
Yes.
con.
hmm
You think you go through cards now? Wait till you shuffle cards for like 14 hours in a day in like
Yeah.
a hot, sweaty room with other people. Like, hey, can I try those? Like,
hmm
bring like
Yeah.
five decks.
That's a good
That's
that's
it.
a good shout out.
The five is
Yeah.
key for sure. Because in San Diego,
Yeah.
I only brought two. and those two
Yeah, I
just
only brought
disappeared.
two in San Diego too. I
Right.
brought I brought four decks, and two of them I like couldn't find them in my bag, so I only had two of
Mhm.
them around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I got
yeah,
so many decks from the goodie bags and underneath the
yeah.
chairs and whatnot.
I
So
think I had to pay a kid to buy a Donnie Brook deck back then because I was like, I need to use the
Yeah,
Donnie Brook deck. Can I buy this off of you? So Matt, yeah, definitely
five
five
decks.
decks
Even
for
bringing a
Yeah.
sure.
brick, I feel like is
Yeah,
kind of crazy. Unless you want to get like people to sign them
yeah,
or something,
yeah,
but also maybe leave your rare decks at
yeah,
home unless you want them to get signed because they will get poopified. They're guaranteed.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
I'm gonna find, I think the picture's on, if you guys remember, oh, here it is. Eric from Tiny Chat. This is a picture of some, like, what I brought with me to San
bro.
Diego at MagicCon. That was half of my bag. I poured them out. We were at a Denny's at like 3 in the morning. He's like, "What's in that
Oh,
bag?" And I was like,
Denny's.
poured them out.
Yeah, yeah, and if you're playing with multiple decks, just know that you're gonna get
Oh
a lot
yeah,
of
it looks like
ideas.
you're packing
Just know
TNT.
they're gonna
It
Oh
be
looks like
fun.
you're
yeah,
packing bombs.
dude. When I was going to Berlin, they stopped me and like put me in a room and searched me. They're like, there are drugs in these cards. I'm like, no, they're not. They're like, there has to be. Why do you have so many? And I like did a trick for them, and they're still like, we don't believe it. Like they gave me so much trouble. My dad was like, he's like was there and was like, I don't know what's like. He just likes cards. Like it's harmless. Um, yeah, don't bring a lot of cards. I also had them in these like I had the golden nuggets in like the metal tin, and they would
Bro.
like set off every alarm. They were like cards in metal. They were like that's not allowed. It was crazy. Yeah, bring like
Yeah,
three to
because
five
the
decks.
goodie bag, you're gonna get
Right.
like 5 to 10 decks for free from the goodie bag
Yeah,
automatically.
automatically. Yeah,
Um, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good to like important to know for newcomers. You don't need that many cards.
yeah.
Any other like little kind of like life hacks for to survive Cardistry-Con like that you can think of? I think bring some. I think in Japan, like bring some cash is probably good. Get some yen. You can
Bring
also
cash.
load
Bring some
the
cash.
Suica card or Pasmo transit card onto your phone directly, which will save you at the airport.
Yeah.
That's a life hack because I've definitely been stranded there before with like no way to buy a pass because my visa doesn't work or something.
Do they have Uber out there?
They do. It's pretty expensive, but they do have Uber
Yeah.
and the taxi. They have taxis
Alright.
and everything.
Be ready to absorb more cardistry than you ever thought you could. And like, there's a thing called post-con depression, which is like you leave the con and you start being like,
It's
I should have
real.
asked Oliver this. I should have
Oh
asked
yeah.
Tobias to do face one more time. Like
Yeah.
biggest thing, biggest tip is like just be present, be ready to absorb it all, ask questions, take videos and photos, and like jam and like
Hmm.
don't bring a lot of cards. Bring like a deck, with you every day. Like pack
Yeah.
light. You're gonna get free stuff. People are gonna hand you things.
Yeah.
Um,
And the new deck drops. I mean,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
yeah.
Have
Make sure you save up your money for that
save your
for those
money.
deck
Be
drops.
ready to buy some
Hmm.
stuff. There's always gonna be things that you're not expecting that are gonna pop up that you're gonna want to buy.
So true, Matt. Yeah, little
You know,
knickknacks here and there, like, oh, let me just grab that
Yeah,
real quick.
yeah.
totally.
It's
Yeah,
it's it's
yeah.
really like I always say it's the best 3 days of my year. I always look forward to
Mhm.
Cardistry Con because it's just there's nothing like it. There's literally you could jam with people on video all day. There's nothing like just being in person, getting to experience
Yeah,
things together, drops,
yeah,
videos, and
yeah. And
um
don't be afraid to talk to the Bucks.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah, talk to
like
the
yeah,
Bucks.
talk to the
Definitely talk
Bucks.
to the Bucks.
They're the ones that brought us all here
yeah.
together.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of kids are very shy to go up to them,
You
but
go pay respect to the Bucks.
they're the
Go
Godfathers.
Yeah.
go kneel before your
Kneel
gods.
down.
Kiss their feet.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
The
And
other thing I'll
homage.
say is like, there's obviously never, I don't hold me to this, but you never know who's going to show up to Cardistry Con. For example, Dynamo, Chris Kenner, like it's
Mhm.
Japan. So like, I'm not saying anything crazy, but like you never know. Like be on your toes, be ready. Like you never know. You might see somebody walking around and you don't even realize that it's your favorite cardist because you've never seen their face. You don't know, you only know them by their Instagram name. You never know.
Mm,
Go up to everybody. That's why I say go up to every single person
yeah.
you see and say something.
Learn their
Yeah,
names,
even
not
in
just by their
Berlin, we
Instagram
had
names.
a. Oh, you're saying CJ?
I was just saying, learn their names, not just their Instagram
Yes.
Oh
names.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
It's my thought.
In Berlin, we had a very young Moritz Mueller going around doing killer coin
Yes.
magic,
Yes.
and Tobias Dostal also showed up to
Mm,
Berlin and was doing some crazy, crazy stuff. Woo!
So cool.
yeah. Oh yeah, Dynamo was in Berlin too, like you mentioned, Matt. And the coolest thing about Dynamo is he's like a huge cardistry fan and has bought all the tutorial packs.
Huge.
So I remember him going up to Andrew and he bought Andrew's like tutorial pack and he knew all Andrew's moves. And Andrew was like, oh, so.
Yeah. He was in London and was walking up to random cardists and being like, "Yo, show
Mhm.
me a
Yeah.
move." Like,
Yeah,
just wanted to see some cool stuff. And
super sweet guy.
it was just it's like I said, you never know who's going to be there. You never know who's going to
Yeah.
show up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Blaine might show up this year.
So actually yeah.
Um,
Okay, maybe you do have a banger ready. Because say, yeah, David Blaine does pull up and he's watching people do cardistry. Maybe you have
Hmm.
something ready for David Blaine. No pressure.
yeah, have
Yeah,
something ready.
right.
Yeah,
No pressure. No pressure.
I got something ready. Do you have something
No,
ready?
Two card
for David
monty.
Blaine, no. Just gonna give him the fattest dap of all
Wants
time.
to.
I show David Blaine his own trick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna back this
Yeah, we're
corner.
gonna let me bite and spit on this quarter in front of you.
No,
Yeah, when's he coming on, Lord?
that'd be
Blaine
great.
on lore would be nuts.
Yeah.
Um, all right, well, maybe we call it here. I think we've like
Yeah.
significantly hyped up how awesome Cardistry-Con is. So, um,
Yeah.
It's
Definitely
pretty
all
cool.
the histories and talk about all the past cons was very, very cool. Especially if kids never, went to the previous cons to get like a sort of an idea of I mean there's obviously so many videos made from the past cons, but it's cool just to talk about it in
oh, totally.
this
It's
time
like
period.
such a special, like, Cardistry-Con is so special. Like when I describe it to non-cardists and stuff, that there's this yearly meeting of people who shuffle cards from around the world, and you just come and
Mhm.
you all sit in a room and you just shuffle cards together every year around the
Yeah,
world,
yeah.
global. Um, there's like no real like keynote speakers or anything. We all just pull up just to like shuffle together.
Hmm.
It's so unique and so
Yeah,
special, and I hope cardists like realize that this is
yeah.
like the
For sure,
super
yeah. I
sick.
mean, I flood like everybody knows I flood my stories with Cardistry Con, like
Oh yeah,
story videos, and a lot of my non-cardist friends are just like, "Do you guys just get lit and play with cards?" I'm
yeah,
like, "It's pretty much the
Yeah.
pretty
idea."
much.
Yeah, yeah. It's like there's other people like you that do that and that are like the
Huh?
same. I'm like, yeah, dude, it's
All around the
all around
world.
the world. Yeah, you know what I
Like
mean? Like,
Cardistry Con brings a legitimacy to cardistry that,
yeah,
like people are
yeah.
like, wow, there's more people than you that do this. Like, yeah,
100%,
it's a lot of
hundred
them.
percent.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's cool about cardistry is that like you go to any state or any part of the world and you'll find a
For sure,
cardist there, which is dope.
100%.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you'll have a friend somewhere in the world that does cards.
So yeah, shouts out to the Bucks. Shouts out to Oliver and Tobias who are kind of running things this year. I know they're working really, really hard to
Yes.
make
Shout out to Michael
Michael
Stern.
Stern the goat.
Yeah. Michael Stern
And shouts out to everyone
showing
who's
up.
coming. Everyone who got
Yes.
tickets.
All 100, yeah, all 150 people of
Yeah.
you guys. Yeah, appreciate the purchasing of the tickets. And this year too, I mean, for everybody that is going to the con, even the big guys, like had to pay.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
myself.
it's
You
a
know,
true democracy.
yeah. There was no, yeah, there's no freebies this year. So we all pitched in to
Um,
help create this, just to keep it
just to
going.
keep it real. And
Yeah.
shouts out to Cardistry in general.
Shout out to Cardistry. Yeah. Shout out to 52 or 54, whatever you put in your deck.
Yeah.
playing cards that are
Or
comfortable.
48,
48 if
baby.
you drop four.
Yeah.
48, baby.
You're a
Yeah.
48 guy?
Yeah,
Damn. That's
I'm a
These
48 now.
days I'm a 48, 49
that's
guy.
freaky.
You know
That's
what I
freaky as
mean?
hell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Full deck? Nah,
That's
No, you
nah.
know what's crazy is I like take out specific cards. Like I'll take out like the eight of clubs and the nine of clubs, and then I'll pick like two random lower number cards, and like it's always like that. Like I don't know why. I'm like, oh, if I ever do a trick, I'm there. No one's gonna pick these. Like I
Yeah, for sure.
specifically take out like certain
no, for
cards of
sure.
Yeah, for me, as long as I have the face card or like the kings and whatever
the
and the
aces.
aces, I'm
Yeah,
good.
I'm
I
like
don't
I'm
care about
fine.
Yeah.
anything else.
I could
Yeah,
do the queens. I'm good.
Yeah.
yeah. Or if
Threes can
there's
go for
like,
sure.
or if the ad cards or the jokers are
No
like
one will miss
cool
a
looking,
three.
I'll keep those in there and then just
No, no
random
one will
more
miss
I
it.
cards.
almost rather have two jokers than like I'd like lose like a three and maybe a five.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with Matt. 8 and 9 is a cool card
Yeah,
combination
dude.
because they're just there.
But you know,
They're
Cardistry
there.
Con is where you can come and meet equally freaky deck card number people like Matt who carry 48 cards in their deck.
Yeah,
Maybe you meet someone who carries
Yeah.
46.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's a world
You
of
never
opportunity.
know. Yeah.
Drop
And you can see because
six.
you'll see someone with a tiny
Yeah.
little deck and you'll be like, whoa,
Wow.
Your deck's so
Yo,
it's
big.
hey,
so
you're you're
big.
you're you're a 38 guy
Whoa, how
too?
many cards? You're
You get
down.
crushed? What?
Because you have to be so confident to be a 38 card guy, I feel like. Because, like,
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, it takes more confidence to be a 38. I feel like, yeah. The thing is I do too many moment moves. I can't do an anaconda with 38 cards. The anaconda's like this big.
I feel like there's a point, though, where it's
Gotta
too
spread it
many.
out.
Like, because sometimes when I'm just filming my dumb shoot card behind the back videos I do all the time, it takes me like 800 takes. So by the end of it, my deck's like this big. And I'm really cognizant that, like,
Oh, so that's why
yeah,
it's
so
like
I'm
that.
cognizant if some kid's going to call me
I
out.
always thought it was
Be
first
like, bro,
strike.
why's your deck
No.
so small?
I do think that we should take a moment to appreciate that in the however many years everybody's been doing cards here, like we've gotten to a point where it's like I said before, if someone hands you a deck of cards, you could instantly be like, I don't like the way these feel. It's missing three
Yeah.
cards. Like that is kind of
It's
crazy that
psychotic.
we have
Yeah.
our fingers are that well tuned that we know. Like I'll never forget Magic Camp 2000, I think 13 or 14. Dan and Dave came to Tana's Magic Camp. Shout out Tana's Magic Camp, and they had the Guy Hollingworth deck, and it was the green first edition one, and it was the first time that I remember seeing crushed cards. Before that, it was studs were the thinnest cards we had, and Guy Hollingworth famously loved studs, and they pulled up with these cards and I felt them. And before I even did anything, I was like, "These are unbelievable." I just put them in my hand,
Those
and
cards
that
were
moment I was like,
thin.
"Wow!" Like
Yeah. Because you could
thin,
shake the
so
box. There
thin.
was like 5 cards worth of space in the
Yes,
box.
you shake the box. Yeah, and I remember like in that moment, like looking at Dan and being like, "Dude, like I like how crazy is it that I just felt these, and I can already tell like how thinner these are. Like I can tell that cards are missing or they're not. Like our hands are pretty well tuned."
Someone should. It
Yeah.
must look crazy from the outside perspective. Like, say, like I'm blindfolded, and someone my hands like this. You put a deck in, and I just feel it, and I do one riffle like this. I'm like, like made in China, like printed, like 20, like post 2014, like thin stuff, thin crush.
Yo, that's
Or
kind of a
do the
great trick
wine
to bust out at
tasting.
the con, bro.
Do the
You
wine tasting.
blindfold yourself. You have people hand you decks. You're like,
Yeah,
WJPC
yeah.
46.
Going in for a second, the
Yeah.
fan observation. Smooth finish.
Do you guys
Yeah.
smell your cards when you open like a new deck? Do you give them a
I've
whiff?
never
Oh,
been a
I do.
whiffer,
I
honestly.
do.
Oh, I love it,
I
man.
would
It's
like
Because
it.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
Darren's
good.
a whiffer.
Darren
Yeah.
would be a whiffer for sure.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I definitely smell when you pack the cards. My favorite
Nothing
set
like
for
it.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually mentioned this to Stern like for a new cardistry game where he'll get a full deck of cards. He'll take out whatever number of cards, and then the person will have to feel how many cards are missing in the
That's
deck.
fire.
Yeah, I thought that was like a little cool idea. Because I play that with with Benji and all the time when we're drunk. I'm like, yo, take out how many cards. I'm gonna tell you how many
Yep.
cards you took out.
Dude, I think I could
silly game.
smell a Cardamondi deck from a mile
Yeah,
away. Like if you blindfolded me and you gave me like a bike deck and a desert inn, I could tell you like
yeah,
what's
man. If
what.
I walk in a room and Cardamundi's in there, I'll be like,
Oh,
I'm like,
oh,
oh man,
I know
I
it.
smell those Belgian cards in here or whatever. Anyways,
Oh shit.
um, this is also another fun part of Cardistry Con. Is like
What are we talking
you
about?
like stop talking about
We just
cardistry.
talk. Yeah. You talk about
Can we
cardistry
add this
Yeah, you
adjacent
just talk about your
things.
cards in general and our.
Hey, how's your hand fitness
Yeah.
these days?
Okay.
Like, what kind of
Yeah. What
lotion
kind
do you use
Yeah.
for your
You a
cards?
dry hand fella? How wet are your hands in general?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
So funny.
sir.
so
So
funny.
funny.
All right,
All right.
guys. I think it's time to call it.
Yeah, I hope to
That's
see
gonna be fun
everybody
stuff.
at Cardistry Con. I know there's only so many spots, but like if you can't go this year, go next year. Like make it a point, like whatever you got to do to get there, do it. I
Yeah.
promise you is well worth your time, well worth your money. I know it's a big
Yeah.
investment for people to not only money wise, but time wise, school, work. Like it is a life-changing experience. Like
Mhm.
live stream this or that, like it's nothing like just being there in person, spending time with people, taking time to just like soak it in. It is a life-changing
Definitely.
experience. Do whatever you can to go. Can't go this year,
Yeah.
go next year.
Mhm.
Like, that's why it's great that they bounce it around from out of the states and in and out. Like,
Mhm.
definitely go if
For
you can.
sure.
It's unbelievable. And I promise you there's gonna be some crazy stuff this year. Like it's I'm very excited
For
for
sure.
everything. Can't
For
wait.
sure.
Yeah, that's right.
And
That's right.
I
I was gonna give a shout out to Kevin. Wish him a happy birthday, everyone. It's his birthday a couple
oh.
days. Also, I know Kevin's not going to be there this year, which is very sad, but got to give
Mhm.
Kevin props too for being kind of like one of the main architects for Cardistry Con and its inception and everything. So,
Oh yeah,
shouts out to
for
you,
sure.
Kev. We're going to miss
Absolutely.
you
Yeah.
for sure.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
The
Thank you.
legendary Kevin Ho. I wouldn't be here without
Yeah,
him, Kevin. And
None of us would.
yeah, two of the legends right here, guys.
Damn straight.
all right.
Damn straight. No pun intended.
Okay, that's a wrap.
Okay.
All right.
That's it, guys. All right.
Thank you
Thank you,
so much.
guys.